This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, the insane Daryl Wayne and I are going to take a look at a number of things. In our second part of our show, we're going to talk to a woman who's written a book, and it'll be published in March. It's about China. She lived there for 8 years, and she's going to talk to us about how it may not be healthy to be friends with China. We'll find out more about that during the latter part of our show. Right now we go to New York, and we're going to speak again with our friend Kulreet Chaudhary. That's Dr. Kulreet Chaudhary, author of The Prime. We're going to be talking today about depression and gut health. Dr. Kulreet, welcome back to Late Night Health.
Thanks for having me back. So great to be back with you guys.
You had fun last time?
I did.
All right, good. We may need to record that, Daryl, because we don't get a lot of people saying we had fun with us. But
I doubt that.
Either a testimony or a complete lie.
Yes, exactly. Well, let's talk about this. Let's first briefly talk about your background. You're an MD, yet you've embraced Ayurvedic medicine, haven't you?
Yes, and I've got to say, not necessarily voluntarily. Ayurvedic medicine was the tradition of medicine that I grew up with, but it wasn't like upfront, like, oh, we're practicing medicine. It was just the way that we ate. We meditated, we did yoga. It was just kind of looking at your health as a sum of all of your habits. And then, of course, I became older and wiser, I thought, and went into allopathic medicine, became a neurologist. And I was like, oh, I don't need that village medicine anymore. And life has a way of, bringing you humility and teaching lessons through that process. And so I was a successful neurologist practicing in La Jolla, and I got hit by intractable migraine headaches. Just the absolute worst possible headaches I could have imagined. And that was when I turned back to Ayurvedic medicine, because nothing I was doing from a traditional allopathic standpoint, it just simply wasn't working. So I went,
and that would be, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that would be primarily big pharma drugs.
Yeah, all of the drugs. I tried Botox, and this is a condition that I was treating, so it wasn't like I was unfamiliar with it. And when I went to go finally, after a year of suffering, when I went to finally go see an Ayurvedic practitioner, the first thing that he said is, this is all about your gut health. And of course, my eyes rolled over, and I was like, oh, they know nothing. How is it that I grew up with this? But I didn't have any other options. So I followed his recommendations, and 3 months later, I was completely headache free. I had more energy. I had more clarity. I lost 10 pounds that I didn't even know I gained. And that is what really forced me to look really hard at what was missing from my education. I had gained a lot, but I was missing this fundamental knowledge about the brain-gut connection.
Were you raised in India or here in the U.S.?
You seriously can't tell from my California accent.
I had to ask. I mean, you sound like me.
I know. I never thought I had I didn't think I had an accent until you leave California, and then everyone's like, oh man, you've got a California accent. I was fortunate to be born in India. And why I say fortunate is it gave me the opportunity to stay connected to this, extraordinary ancient civilization. But I came here when I was 4 years old, here being Southern California, and I was raised here most of my life. And so I've just been really blessed to have this dual citizenship and have both of these perspectives in approaching life.
And where do you practice?
I practice in San Diego, although I no longer do individual patient consultations. I actually take people now to India. So I work with them for a year and then take them to India so that they can embrace and be a part of these traditional treatments like panchakarma. So my practice now literally spans 2 continents.
Wow. And I didn't realize you were so close. I don't know why I thought you were in New York. let's talk about.
Well, isn't all of our hearts are in New York, right? Isn't that how
Yeah, I love
I
New York.
left my heart in New York?
Yeah, I think you're right. San Francisco is like a close
A
second,
close second. You're right. I feel the same way.
right? Um, let's talk about the fact that, there's a lot of junk happening in our world today.
Mhm.
There's, recession, there's inflation. A loaf of bread can be $8. The price of eggs has skyrocketed. I mean, all of these things that I'm mentioning are stress inducers. How do we, and they're food, so it's gut related stress inducers because of the price. What can we do to minimize the stress from just everyday life?
So here's something that's going to challenge what you just said. The junk out in the world is not as important as the junk in your gut when it comes to the way that you respond to the world. The world's always going to fluctuate. There'll always be something to be happy about. There's always going to be something to be angry about. There'll always be something to be, sad about. That's the world. And even when the economy is doing great, or, globally we're doing great, there can be something in your own personal life that you're struggling with. So you can't make your mood and the way that your state of mind is based on the world. And it's not necessary. If you take care of your digestive system and you actually clear the toxic inflammation that is there, you will simply support the healthy bacteria that boost your feel-good hormones like neurotransmitters and hormones. Neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, and they help to regulate hormones like cortisol. That is the most important environment to be paying attention to. I'll see patients who've got their focus on, oh, this is going on with this person, or this is going on, in our world. And I'm like, okay, but what's going on in your gut? And they have absolutely no idea.
We're going to be taking a break shortly. And when we come back from our break, we're going to take a look at that gut health connection. I take a probiotic every night. I take one every morning because I believe in it. And I think that it makes me feel good that I'm doing something for myself.
We're going to take it beyond the probiotic though, Mark. We're going to take the next step.
Oh, good. I like that. How important is what we eat? The probiotic is one thing, but what about, eating occasionally, a slice of chocolate brownie, or maybe even a barbecued rib here and there?
Anything that you do occasionally is not going to dictate your gut health. It's what you do on a daily basis that dictates your gut health. And it's what you're eating on a daily basis, and it's what you're thinking on a daily basis. The gut and the brain is one functional unit. So anything that you do to one, you're doing to the other. And so I tell people, you don't have to worry about, oh, I made this one indiscretion in your diet. I said, no, look at what you're doing every single day. Is your diet predominantly whole foods? Is it predominantly plant-based? And if the answer to that is yes, then you're going in the right direction.
Now I think we are going to take a break coming up. And when we do, we're going to take a look at what we can do beyond probiotics. I mean, there are prebiotics now. I think there are prebiotics and probably a postbiotic that somebody will discover as well. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. On our hotline is Kulreet Chaudhary, and she's a medical doctor, author of The Prime. She's seen the light and is now teaching people about Ayurvedic medicine. This is Late Night Health. Join us at latenighthealth.com. That's latenighthealth.com. We turn it over to Daryl as Late Night Health continues. Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment. If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Be sure to join us at latenighthealth.com. And while I think about it, Daryl does a bunch of live radio stuff. So Daryl, shout it out for us. Where are you?
Well, let's see. I'm on Boss Radio every day. I'm on Boss Alt Gold every day. I'm on ADSK AM and FM in Albuquerque every day. I do a weekly live show called the Insane Daryl Wayne and the Knuckleheads. We've been doing it 23 years. And it's live on Wednesday nights, and we play what we want and say what we want and pretty much make it up as we go along. We'll use Wayne Brady's line for what he calls it, but yeah, we make it up as we go along.
It's a lot of fun.
And I also have a syndicated program called Latest for the Greatest, which is new music from classic rock and new wave artists. And
You're a busy guy, Daryl.
He is.
An hour show once a week. It's on 12 or 14 stations.
That's awesome.
Always looking for more.
Awesome. It's the way to live.
We always want more.
Indeed.
Always want more. We want more health too. And Dr. Chaudhary is going to help us with that. So we talked about the fact that Mark takes a probiotic every day. Mm-hmm. Should I be doing something else as well?
Yeah. So you want to create an environment in your gut for them to grow. So it's got to go beyond the probiotic. And, I'm a fan of probiotics. It's not that. But what else are you doing to make sure that they can survive and they can thrive in your gut? And, you mentioned earlier about choosing the right foods. Mark, you'll be surprised how many of the choices around diet are actually made by the bacteria and other microorganisms in your gut. They actually determine what you eat, which is why we want to create the right environment. So it's this whole kind of chicken and egg thing. So there's a few things that you can do to create a healthy environment in your gut, and this helps boost mood and helps with other brain health issues. And it helps to create the mind that you want as you age. And so one of my favorite things is an Ayurvedic herb called triphala, and that's spelled Triphala, and it's made of 3 berries. And when you put these 3 berries together, you have a very powerful supplement for getting rid of the inflammation in the gut, healing gut mucosa, and reestablishing a healthy dialogue between the brain and the gut. And that's really what you want. It's just a healthy communication. So that's what I would add is every night about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of triphala every evening before you go to bed.
What about cravings? I have 2 primary cravings.
Tell me them.
And the first one is I'm trying to think now what it is, which is terrible. But brined pickles,
Okay.
which are probiotic by nature, and Korean kimchi.
So cravings can tell you a lot. They can tell you whether there's something missing in your body. Like sometimes when we crave salty things, it's because our adrenals need a little bit more support and they get taxed when we're under a lot of stress. But also can tell you a lot about what's going on in your gut flora. For example, when people have a lot of sweet cravings, it will often mean that there's an upset between the good versus the bad bacteria or yeast in their GI system. So I like giving 2 herbs, because remember, we talked about how the gut and brain function as one unit. I like giving 2 herbs to really help with cravings. The first one's ashwagandha, which, Mark, I'm sure you've heard of because it's all over the place.
I have a bottle of it on my desk.
Yeah, and so ashwagandha is a really well-known Ayurvedic herb. And I typically recommend starting with like 500 milligrams twice a day. But if you're still noticing cravings, go up to 1,000 milligrams twice a day. And ashwagandha helps to reduce cravings by supporting the adrenal function and reducing the impact of stress. But the other herb you may not have heard of, it's called Brahmi. And Brahmi is used for many different neurological conditions in Ayurveda, but it's specifically used for addictions, including food addictions. And it helps by normalizing dopamine function in the brain. So this is also really good for things like memory, creativity, focus, but it's wonderful for cravings. And I take both of these every single day. And same dosing, 500 milligrams twice a day. You can go up to 1,000 milligrams twice a day. So this is what I would recommend adding on.
Spell the last herb that you mentioned?
Absolutely. It's Brahmi, Brahmi. And I've got another secret for you about cravings. And this one you can just go to your kitchen for.
Got it.
So this is what I call the prime tea, and it's in my book. And it's also an ancient Ayurvedic recipe used to boost digestion and detoxify the gut. And really, once you start healing the gut, you naturally start supporting healthy bacteria, and they will shift your cravings. And this is just made up of 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon, depending on how strong you want it, of cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and fennel seeds. You just throw them in a pot with about 4 to 5 cups of water, boil for about 5 to 10 minutes, take out the seeds, throw it in a thermos, and you just sip that all day long. And actually, I have it by my desk all day long as I'm working.
And that's fennel seed?
Cumin seeds and coriander seeds. You can get the seeds, put them in a little mason jar in your kitchen. That's how I've got them. And just make it every morning, Monday through Friday. That is what I drink all throughout the day.
Wow. I have all 3 of those in my pantry. I cook 3 of those. Coriander seed is also known as cilantro.
Yeah, it's from the cilantro plant. Absolutely.
Right, and it's a great seasoning. It's found in Indian cuisine. It's found in Mexican and Hispanic cuisine and Asian cuisine. It's a wonderful, wonderful herb. Are there any combinations of the herbs that, buying 1, 2, 3 herbs?
Oh, that's the combination I tell you. Combining ashwagandha, brahmi, and triphala, and I talk about this in my book. That is the foundation for most of my patients, and it's something that I take on a daily basis. Because it's not only a program that helps to heal the gut and helps to support brain function, it helps to just slow down the entire aging process. So if you say, like, what's your 1, 2, well, my 1, 2, 3, 4 on a daily basis is triphala at bedtime, ashwagandha and brahmi twice a day, and the prime tea that I just gave you, which can just be made in your kitchen. I sip that all day long. That is my Monday through Friday regimen. And the reason why I take the weekends off is I think you need to take a break from something to stay with it long term. And also just to keep the potency of the herbs. If you take a couple days off every week, they remain more potent.
And what about kids? Can kids take this stuff?
Yeah, well, what I typically recommend is, if you have a child below the puberty age, then work with an Ayurvedic practitioner because the doses will be less. The tea they can absolutely do. Once they hit puberty, their body starts responding similarly, to adults. And so then they can do the same doses. So for younger kids, it might just be smaller doses, but the tea they can do.
Got it.
My son is on these, by the way.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
My teenage son is on all of this, and I'll tell you, his adolescence has really been very smooth as a result.
Well, which is good. I was going to try to make some kind of a joke about my kids when they were teens, but they were, they were great. They still are great. Listen, we are out of time. Will you come back and visit with us again?
You betcha. I thought I was supposed to come over and we were going to cook together, Mark.
Yes. We're going to do that
from last time.
It was. All right.
Got to be invited. I can't show up.
Want you to hold on a second. I will. I've got your phone number. I'm going to call you this afternoon. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Good deal. And listen, that's Dr. Kulreet Chaudhary. Do you have a website?
I do. drkchaudhary.com.
And that's CHAUDHARY.
Yes.
Dr. KCHAUDHARY.com. Oh, I can't wait to cook. Daryl, you'll have to come. Well, you can't come over, but I'll save you some because you're on the air after I am. So you have to do that from your place. But I'll share the food with you. I promise.
You mean virtually over the internet? It's just
yes. Yeah. Well, no, I'll actually bring you some. We'll make enough. All right, we got to go.
Indians always make enough, Daryl. We always make enough.
Right. All right, good deal. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Don't go away. More coming up here on Late Night Health.